There comes a time in every man's life when he is forced to make a decision, either continue pointing fingers outward or finally turn the mirror on himself. The weak man blames the world. He curses the weather, the government, the economy, his enemies, and even the hands of time. But the wise man, the strong man, the man destined to build something greater than himself, he chooses a different path. He focuses inward. He embraces the truth. If it's going to be, it's up to me. Personal responsibility is not a burden. It is the very source of freedom. It liberates you from waiting on permission. It tears you away from excuses. It destroys the fantasy that someone is coming to save you. The man who accepts responsibility does not negotiate with weakness. He does not let his circumstances define him. He defines himself through action, through work, through a daily commitment to becoming more valuable, more capable, more powerful. And this begins in silence, not because silence is empty, but because it is full of answers. When you remove the noise of blame, the chatter of complaints, the endless opinions of those who have built nothing, you begin to hear a voice within. That voice is your true potential whispering, stop looking at them, focus on you. The only competition that matters is the man you were yesterday. You will never rise if you are busy calculating who wronged you. You will never become exceptional if you are obsessed with how easy it was for someone else. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. You owe yourself effort, honesty, and the courage to change your own life with your own two hands. And that change doesn't start when the world claps for you. It starts when you decide to clap for yourself in the dark, when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when it's just you versus the weight you carry. No man ever built greatness from convenience. No king was forged by luck. No legacy was created by waiting for the perfect time. The man who rises is the man who starts where he is, uses what he has, and works like a madman to improve himself in silence. He doesn't post about it. He doesn't boast about it. He doesn't need others to validate it, because he knows the truth. Success is not a performance. It is the result of personal ownership. And personal ownership will demand that you kill the old version of yourself over and over again. The lazy version, the excuse-making version, the procrastinating version, you must bury them not once, but daily, because if you don't, they will bury your potential. They will bury your ambition. They will bury every dream you had when you were a boy staring out the window, imagining the life you could live if only you had the courage to focus solely on yourself and block out the world's distractions. Responsibility is the soil in which your discipline will grow, and discipline, my friend, is the bridge from potential to power, which brings us to the second principle, discipline over distraction. In today's world, everyone wants to be seen. They want the world to witness their grind, their hustle, their progress. But true discipline is not something you showcase. It is something you protect. It is not something you broadcast to gain attention. It is something you develop in secret, like a seed growing roots before it ever breaks the ground. Discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it. It means honoring your word to yourself long after the mood in which you made that promise has died. It means choosing to rise before the sun when everyone else is still sleeping, and not because someone is watching, but because you made a vow to become the kind of man who does what needs to be done. Discipline is when your goals mean more to you than your temporary feelings. It's when you say no to the party, the gossip, the pointless scrolling, because you understand one thing clearly. Every distraction is a delay to your destiny. Every moment you spend on someone else's path is a moment stolen from your own. And if you keep giving your time away to people who are not building anything, soon you'll have nothing left to build with. There are two types of men, those who consume and those who create. The consumers are loud, they follow trends, they speak endlessly about what they are going to do, they chase dopamine, they live for approval. But the creators, they are quiet giants, they work when it's boring, they grind when it's cold, They move in silence and let their results scream. You must become a creator, a builder, a disciplined machine that doesn't flinch at the sound of distractions. You must become the kind of man who doesn't need a camera on him to train harder, study deeper, work smarter, because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the future version of yourself, who will thank you one day for never giving in to the temptations of mediocrity. Look around you. The average man is weak, addicted to comfort, and driven by validation. He cannot focus for more than a few minutes. He starts 100 things and finishes none. He wants the body but avoids the gym. He wants the business but avoids the late nights. He wants the life of a lion but thinks like a lamb. Do not be that man. Choose the opposite path. Choose the path of quiet mastery. Choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Become addicted to consistency, make it your identity. Refuse to let distraction rob you of your fire. Let them laugh while you sacrifice. Let them talk while you build. Let them shine in public while you sharpen in private. Because when the storm comes, and it always does, it is not the man who was loudest who will survive. It is the man who trained the hardest in silence, the man who built his foundation in solitude, the man who rejected distraction like poison and consumed discipline like oxygen. Don't just admire the disciplined, become one. Don't just wish for peace. Protect your energy like a sacred flame. Wake up and remind yourself daily, this is your life and no one else will build it for you. Focus on you, tune everything else out, go dark, get serious, put in work that no one sees, so one day you'll live a life they can't ignore. The world measures success by what it can see: cars, homes, titles, applause. But that is not where success begins. That is merely where it becomes visible. What the world doesn't see are the years of sacrifice, the daily discipline, the doubts wrestled with in silence. What the world never understands is that before a man becomes great on the outside, he must first win battles no one sees on the inside. Invisible growth always precedes visible success. You cannot cheat that order. You cannot shortcut that sequence. The man who tries to skip the silent seasons will always collapse in public, because public success without private strength is a dangerous illusion. It crumbles under pressure. It fades with criticism, but the man who has done the silent work, the deep work, the invisible work, he cannot be shaken. He has built himself in a way that applause cannot inflate him and criticism cannot destroy him. Think of the tallest buildings in the world. The higher they plan to build, the deeper they must dig. No one cheers while the foundation is being laid. No one stands around and claps for cement. But that part, the unseen part, is what determines whether the structure will endure. And so it is with a man. The deeper his roots, the higher his rise. And roots don't grow in the spotlight. They grow in the dark, in silence, in pressure. It is in those moments, when no one is texting, calling, clapping, or watching, that you shape who you will become. You build your character when no one else is there. You train your willpower when the lights are off. You forge your standards when there is no audience. That's when you decide what kind of man you truly are. Because it's easy to act disciplined when someone is filming. It's easy to pretend to be focused when people are watching. But the truth, the real truth, about who you are is revealed when it's just you and the grind. And the man who honors that grind, even when no one acknowledges it, becomes unstoppable, because he is not fueled by praise. He is fueled by purpose. He is not distracted by trends. He is devoted to his transformation. That's a dangerous man. That's a rare man. That's the kind of man who cannot be bought, cannot be broken, and cannot be outworked. You see, most men crave recognition too early. They want credit before they've earned it. They want fame without foundations, but a true master knows this. You must first become it before you display it. You must first embody the identity you want the world to recognize. If you want to be a warrior, train in silence. If you want to be a leader, build yourself in the shadows. If you want to be legendary, be invisible first. The world respects results, not intentions. But results only come when you've outlasted the phase where nothing is visible. So keep building when it's boring. Keep moving when it's slow. Keep crafting when no one is paying attention. One day your effort will be undeniable. But that day is not your concern. Your concern is today. This hour, this moment, this habit, this repetition. That's where greatness is formed, and while you build, protect your energy, because this leads us into the next law of the focused man. Silence protects your power. There is a sacredness in silence. There is a protective layer that shields your ideas, your goals, your momentum from premature exposure. When you speak too soon, you leak power. When you reveal your intentions to people who don't understand your mission, you invite resistance before you're ready. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some people don't want to see you grow. Others will doubt you out of habit. Many will pretend to support you but secretly hope you fail. When you talk too much, you give them ammunition. You give them opportunities to question you, plant seeds of doubt in you, or distract you. But when you move in silence, you move with force. There is a mystery to the silent man that rattles the world around him. People sense something is happening, but they can't put their finger on it. That's power, that's control, that's strategy. Think of the hunter. He doesn't announce his approach. He moves with precision. Quiet, focused, intentional, because noise alerts the prey. Noise exposes the plan. Noise invites danger. But silence is stealth. Silence is lethal. Silence is discipline embodied. Your dreams are not for everyone to analyze. Your plans are not for social media to critique. You don't need to update the world with every move you make. You need to protect your ambition like a newborn child. Feed it. Train it. Raise it in strength and silence until it becomes too powerful to stop. Talking feels good. Talking gives you a false sense of accomplishment, but it is a trap. A man who talks about his goals often receives the dopamine rush as if he's already achieved them, and that satisfaction kills execution. It weakens urgency. It creates complacency. Don't fall for that lie. Speak less, do more. Let action be your announcement. Let your habits be your message. Let your results be your reputation. There is an ancient wisdom in being underestimated. The silent man is often ignored, and that is a gift, because while they're not watching, you're growing. While they're distracted by their own noise, you're studying. While they're wasting energy chasing validation, you're becoming something rare, something undeniable. Power doesn't need to scream. Influence doesn't need to beg for attention. True greatness doesn't compete for the spotlight. It creates such a powerful presence that the spotlight has no choice but to follow. So keep your head down, guard your vision, starve the need to be seen, feed the fire to become, because the man who works in silence carries an aura that cannot be faked. You can't buy it, you can't fake it. It's earned in the trenches, it's built in the quiet, it's forged through the pain of self-restraint. Learn to enjoy that solitude, learn to thrive in that silence, learn to become so focused on your craft, your growth, your mastery, that the outside world becomes irrelevant. You're not trying to prove anyone wrong. You're not trying to show them what you're capable of. You're simply trying to become who you were meant to be, and that alone is worth protecting from noise, from doubt, from the premature eyes of a world that cannot yet comprehend the magnitude of what you are building. There is no greater poison to purpose than comparison. The man who constantly watches another's steps forgets how to take his own. Comparison strips a man of his peace, his power, and his potential. It is a silent thief, creeping in unnoticed, robbing him of the ability to see the greatness already within him. The more he looks outward, the less he believes in what lies within, and here lies the trap. While you are busy admiring someone else's chapter 10, you abandon your own chapter 1. You begin to think you are behind. You begin to think you are unworthy, but the truth is this: you were never meant to walk someone else's path. Your gift is not theirs. Your assignment is not theirs. Your pace is not theirs. There is no wisdom in measuring your worth by the accomplishments of another man. You cannot compare your seed to another man's harvest. You don't know the storms he survived. You don't know the nights he cried. You don't know the silence he endured. And even if you did, it wouldn't matter. Because his story is not your blueprint, the Master understands this deeply. He walks alone not because he is arrogant, but because he is focused. He doesn't compete with anyone else because he is too obsessed with becoming the highest version of himself. The man on a mission does not look sideways. He looks inward and forward, inward to sharpen his awareness, forward to chase his vision. Every time he feels comparison trying to creep in, he returns to his core question: am I doing better than I did yesterday? That's the only metric that matters, not the followers, not the applause, not the illusions of success filtered through highlight reels. The only game worth playing is self. Mastery and self. Mastery can only be achieved through alignment. You must align with your values, your principles, your long-term vision. That means silencing the noise that tells you you're too slow, too different, too far behind. Behind who? Who set that timeline? Who declared that path? The moment you break the chains of comparison, you are free to build your own empire in your own timing. The man who masters himself becomes immune to envy. He doesn't waste energy on jealousy because he's too busy building. He celebrates others without questioning himself. He learns from others without losing his own direction. He respects the grind, but he doesn't trade his gift for someone else's spotlight. The truth is, many men will look successful on the surface while dying inside. They look rich, but they're broke in discipline. They look confident, but they're empty in spirit. They look free, but they're slaves to validation. Do not let the image deceive you. Do not trade your integrity for illusion. Do not chase what glitters while neglecting what grows. If you focus on your gift, nurture it, invest in it, multiply it, you will become dangerous in your own right, and it will happen not because you copied someone else's success, but because you honored your own blueprint. That's the secret the masters know. That's why they stay silent. That's why they don't chase trends. That's why they don't beg for attention. They know comparison is the enemy of excellence. Excellence comes when you pour every ounce of your energy into developing what was placed inside of you. It requires discipline, it demands clarity, it thrives in focus, and that brings us to the next law of greatness. Results demand sacred solitude. There is a season in every great man's life where he must disappear, not because he's lost, but because he's evolving. This is the season of sacred solitude, the phase where the outside world no longer serves your mission, and the only voice that matters is the one echoing in your soul. It is in this season that distractions must die, that temptations must be tamed, that noise must be silenced, because you are not here to entertain. You are here to execute. Solitude is not isolation. It is alignment. It is intentional separation from the average, from the noisy, from the weak-willed who do not understand what it means to go all in. The average man avoids solitude because it forces him to face himself. But the man of vision seeks solitude because he knows it is the only place he can truly build. In solitude, there is no performance. There is only process. There is no pretending. There is only progress. No masks, no distractions, just you and the work, just you and the battle, just you and the truth. Sacred solitude means rising early, not for show, but for structure. It means late nights of reflection while the world sleeps. It means declining invitations that pull you away from your goals. It means creating a world so focused that anything not aligned with your mission is eliminated, not postponed, not tolerated, eliminated. The man who guards his solitude becomes a fortress. He becomes unshakable. He becomes magnetic, not because he's chasing attention, but because his energy is undeniable. People will feel something different when they meet a man who has mastered the quiet. Because when you've fought your demons in the dark, the world can't threaten you in the light. In sacred solitude, clarity returns. You remember what you're building. You remember why it matters. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop chasing and start leading. You stop shrinking and start commanding. The world bends to the man who knows where he's going, but that direction is only revealed in silence. The loud man is lost. The quiet man is dialed in. To protect that solitude, you must master boundaries. Not everyone gets access to your energy. Not every conversation deserves your time. Not every connection is aligned with your mission. You must become ruthless with your schedule, with your circle, with your inputs. This is not selfish. This is sacred. You are not cutting people off because you are angry. You are stepping into your destiny, and not everyone is invited. Growth is personal. Mastery is lonely. Power is earned alone, and in that solitude you will find yourself becoming sharper, more strategic, more spiritual, more focused. You begin to operate with precision. You stop needing approval. You stop explaining your moves. You start executing with consistency. You start feeling alive because you are no longer living for them. You are living for the man you are becoming when you train in solitude. Your discipline deepens. There is no audience to perform for. There is no applause to chase. There is only the truth. Are you committed or not? Are you doing the work or not? Are you serious about rising or just talking about it? Sacred solitude demands answers, and in answering those questions honestly, you begin to separate yourself from the masses. You begin to rise, not just in skill, but in spirit. You begin to develop an aura of certainty that cannot be faked. It's not about arrogance. It's about awareness. You know who you are. You know what you're building. You don't need to prove it. You just need to finish it. The man who embraces sacred solitude is a man who no longer runs from himself. He confronts the weaknesses, kills the excuses, and cultivates the mindset required to lead. And in doing so, he becomes something rare, something real, something rooted in truth, and truth, once embodied, is more powerful than any motivation. Because when you move in truth, no storm can stop you. The greatest transformation happens in silence, where the world isn't watching and the applause is absent. When you focus solely on yourself, without comparison or distraction, you begin to unlock a version of you that's disciplined, unshakable, and unstoppable. Mastery requires solitude, not noise; devotion, not validation. Let your actions be louder than words, your results stronger than opinions. This journey is not about impressing others. It's about becoming everything you were destined to be. Build in silence, grow in strength, and rise in purpose. Because when the world finally notices, it will be too late to stop what you've already become.